Hi, this is Aluil, and you're watching my heroic Yor'sahj Moonkin guide. A lot of the strategies that I'm going to cover here can apply on the regular fight too, so this should be helpful for whichever version of the fight you're working on. So before the fight starts, I'm putting down 3 mushrooms at Yor'sahj's feet, and I'm making him my focus. It's just a personal preference because I like to see things really big. I'm making sure I have my focus glyph in because I'm really bad at remembering to change my glyphs. And I've positioned myself by this yellow star. This is where our range stand because on heroic the most common one you get is yellow, and so if I stay here at the start, it's less movement. Our tank is going to give us a countdown, and so I'm getting ready to use my volcanic pot before he pulls, and here we go. So I was lucky to be 1 cast outside of solar, which is the ideal position to be for this fight if you can manage it. Get my dots going, and I'm gonna go ahead and detonate my shrooms with all my spell power buffs up and just do a normal rotation until we get our first set of blobs. You'll see here for this first lunar, I don't use Starfall. It's because I have that focus glyph in, and from where I'm standing, it would not hit Yor'sahj. Here as I'm running away, I try to refresh my dots, and I get out of range for Moonfire, but oh well, it's more important to get this blob down. So we have black and purple up at the same time in this round, which means that I want to position myself 1 cast away from solar eclipse. Excuse me. You can see that Dragon Wrath kind of screws me over right there. I meant to stay out, but I got a proc. It's not a huge deal since I have Innervate up, but something like that could have screwed me over, and I could have been really mana starved otherwise. So I put my mushrooms down as I was running in, and I start dotting them up as they come in, the ads, and I detonate once they're all inside. And Typhoon, and then here I actually start using Hurricane in a second here, which I think actually works out pretty well. This is the first time I'm using it, and I'm a fan. You'll see that I actually fail to use it later on in the fight, but I'm definitely recommending it as a tactic to use once they're all dotted up. So what we have next is gonna be black's gonna die, we kill it, so it's just blue that you need to worry about, and in that case you just want to be 1 cast outside of either eclipse. It doesn't matter which one. Basically the point is that you're just gonna be taking advantage of Euphoria to be able to get a little bit of mana back while your melee get the mana void down. You want to not be totally useless. So here, just running back in, and so we have green, which means, as you know, the fight stays spread out, but you want to get pretty close to the mana void because it doesn't have a very big range outside of LFR, where the range is just ridiculous. So here you can see I managed to get mana back, and I was able to start DPSing even before the mana void was killed. So it's a really good way to reduce downtime, even if it's just by a second or two. So here, this is we're gonna have black up, which means that you want to be in solar to kill the ads, and this combination is kind of the really bad one for our guild, so we use heroism on this one because our heroism isn't timed but rather for a specific combination. I always use my trees at the start of the fight because I don't know when we're going to use heroism. I actually get pretty lucky here, and they just happen to already be up, or be up again, so I get to use them with heroism. Here I'm trying desperately to get to solar because things didn't go as well as I had planned. But I can get a starfall off to get the ads some damage on them while I'm trying to get to solar with my mushrooms down. And I do go ahead and use a potion here for heroism as well because this particular combination can be kind of rough for our healers, although we've been killing this guy for a few weeks now, so it's not as big a deal as it used to be. And then so, did the normal ad rotation. I just put down 3 more mushrooms for the second set of ads. I'm dotting them all up. It's really awesome that I just got an insignia proc here, which means I can put really nice dots on all of them. I exploded once they all got in, and then we have to run out, which means that my dots are able to run almost their full course on them, or at least longer than they otherwise would have been. So here again, we're gonna have, oh, this is just blue. So I just want to be 1 cast away from any eclipse. It's going to be lunar here. If I can manage it, I think that I've managed to get just a couple casts outside. And you can see the way that we deal with mana voids is we leave the very first one up, and then so we have 2 down at a time whenever we get a new one, and we kill the old one, which the melee have already taken low, so that it's less time without mana for the healers and for the ranged DPS. And the other thing that isn't exactly DPS, well, kind of DPS related, is generally you want to use bark skin almost on cooldown on this fight. Anytime you have blobs up, there's almost always AoE damage, so it's really helpful for your healers, and it also prevents pushback, so it's, you can cast more. Alright, so here we have black. I normally would have held my solar eclipse there, but I have run into mana problems doing that if you do it too many times in a row. And I'd rather be, if the next combination happened to be a black and a yellow, I'd rather have be able to hold my solar for that. And if I hold solar too many times in a row, I will go So I just chose to power through and make it back. And then I just do my normal AoE thing here with the dots and the mushrooms. And I should have used Hurricane here like a little earlier, and I think I just forgot. I think I was just so intent on trying to get to solar that I was like, oh, whatever. So here's another black and blue, which means again you want to be 1 cast away from solar. So there are 3 possibilities that you need to look out for: black by itself, which is in solar; blue by itself, which is 1 cast away from either eclipse; and black and blue together, which is 1 cast away from solar eclipse. In heroic, you will always get one of those 3. In regular, sometimes you'll have combinations such that you just don't have to worry about where you are in your eclipse cycle. And I always use my starfall on the ads, which means that I'm always using starfall not in lunar. This is a fight where that's really okay. It's not a big deal, especially because you have focus glyphed. So yeah, our tank went down. I had to get him up there. It's kind of rough. And so at this point, we just decided to burn him, and that's pretty much the extent of the fight. I think that this fight is pretty fun for Moonkin, but it requires a lot of paying attention. There's a lot of stuff that you can do slightly wrong and kind of screw yourself over, but if you execute it right, it can be a really good and fun fight for us. So I hope that this was helpful, and thanks for watching as usual, and that's it. Bye!